This is the Transformers Studio Series from the movie Transformers 1 Deluxe Class Elita-1. And as you can probably guess from all the dents and dings that the box of this figure has, that I picked this one up from Amazon, and I was shocked. It was originally slated for end of October, early November, but this figure came in a wave with Starscream and KSI Widow, so I was wondering why I haven't gotten it, and thankfully Amazon had bumped it up to the first week of September. She's looking pretty good based on the images and even in packaging. And here is Elita-1 out of the box, and you know what? The figure looks pretty good. I actually enjoyed posing this figure. Quality's okay. Some issues with some parts here and there. Transformation's not too bad. Overall, I was very, very happy with this figure. Let's take a closer look at the details of this new studio series from the Transformers 1 Deluxe Class Elita-1. Head to toe, the figure stands at about 13.5 centimeters, or about 5 3/8 inches tall. And for comparisons, here she is with the rest of the gang from Transformers 1. We've got Studio Series Deluxe Class figures of Optimus Prime, B127 or Badazatron, and the Takara Tomy version of Megatron, which is essentially the same as the Hasbro version. So all three are Hasbro. This one is by Takara Tomy. Let's talk about the details of the figure. She does come with this real cool blaster rifle. It's as accurate as can be, albeit the one I got from DNA Design. There's a new kit for Optimus and Megatron that has probably a more accurate blaster. I'll have that video up as soon as I can, but this one is okay. Just wish they could have put a little bit more silver paint apps instead of just relying on the sort of glossy silver plastic that they molded the gun in, but it's okay. It's good enough. As far as the plastic quality of this figure goes, it's their usual traditional Studio Series light craptastic plastic, but it's not super crappy. I mean, you could still see the softness of the plastic in some pieces here and there, and like the wheels are just traditional Studio Series plastic, but it's not super cheap. It doesn't feel super craptastic. It's okay. I just wish they could have used the really solid premium plastic that they've been using for some of the figures like Optimus Prime. You can see how solid it is, but this one they went back and they decided to make use of lighter plastics. That's fine. Okay, she does have a removable backpack. This backpack serves no other purpose except for aesthetic accuracy. So just to make her look accurate in robot mode and even in alt mode. This is the rear bumper of the alt mode. So it's kind of useless, but it's just there for accuracy. And I think, you know what? Even if she's not too accurate, she could do well without that backpack in both modes. As far as articulation goes, the neck is on a ball joint peg. The shoulders are on ball joints. You get ball joints for the elbows, no wrist articulation, some waist articulation right here. Very nice. They didn't have to put that. It's not part of transformation, but I'm glad they did. Ball jointed hips. She's got double hinged knees, which is because of transformation. The ankles are on ball joints, effectively making it move up and down, and a pseudo rocker tilt. As far as the paint apps go, well, it's okay. I love the silver highlights, but again, they didn't want to use some metallic magenta on her. They just decided to mold the plastic in this sort of glossy finish. Metallic magenta. It doesn't really look metallic, but it does have that glossy pseudo-pearlescent look to it. I think the Blockies version still has the better paint apps, but the Blockies version is just really tiny, but it's okay. It does what it needs to do. I just wish it was a little bit shinier. A few more things before we leave this robot mode. One of the things that really annoys me with this robot mode is this torso. It just refuses to tab onto those slots right there. If you notice these wheels, there's a groove right there, and you're supposed to like hold it in place and it's tab the chest onto it, but it just doesn't want to tab, and it stays on if you don't move it, but once you start moving her, it just loves to come undone, and it is annoying. I wish DNA Design would come up with a kit to replace it. It just sucks that it doesn't tab in as securely. Also, aesthetic wise, look at the feet. I actually, I had a bit of a gasp when I saw this, because it looks like she's got two right feet, and she probably does have two right feet, and I was like, man, did I get another factory defect? And I looked at the instructions, and this is how it's really supposed to be. Hasbro just decided to produce one kind of foot so that they didn't have to do a left foot and a right foot. They wanted something that tabbed in this way properly, so that they just decided to do 2 right feet. And the instructions clearly indicate that it's supposed to be like this. I guess they did this so that there's little chance of a quality issue of the factory worker placing 2 right feet or 2 left feet. They just made all the feet identical so that they could just slap on the foot. Aesthetically speaking, I mean, it should be, this peg should be here, and you know, they should have manufactured a left foot, but to avoid that kind of mistake, they just decided to do it the same and put another peg as well here. So to transform her in her Cybertronian vehicle mode, get rid of the accessories. Yes, even this backpack. Like I said, it's just for aesthetic purposes, accuracy. Okay, first thing you want to do, you want to go ahead and unfold this backpack. And it can be a little tricky. Just go do that. Fold it out. Fold everything out. That'll save you some trouble. Okay, fold that out, fold this out, fold that out. Go ahead and fold that down. Rotate the neck and the head, and then just fold that up. So you just open up these flaps to form the wheels. Go ahead and do that. Okay, make sure they're rolling freely, and then put them back up. The shoulders, you want to rotate these panels up here. I actually thought what they were for. I mean, it looks great even if you don't do it, but it really is to make the side of the vehicle more streamlined with a curvature here near the elbow. That probably is going to make it more accurate. Legs, you want to fold the heel spurs. You want to go ahead and open up the shins. Do that. Go fold the knee guards or the knees, and then you want to combine the legs. So you start with the wheels. You just line up the pegs. Okay. All right, there we go. And then tab in the legs together. Then tab in the feet, the same set of feet. You want to go ahead and fold the knees in the wrong direction. Go ahead and fold them up here and then compress them that way. You want to go ahead and fold the feet all the way up. Let me do it. Okay, all the way up like that, and then fold the wheel down. You want to go ahead and tab in the arms. The arms are going to tab onto the side of the legs. Those tabs right there, they are going to tab onto the legs, and then the shins are going to tab onto these parts, the side panels of the arms. Don't worry about it if they keep coming undone. It's really how Studio Series figures are. They sort of come together in the end, but they have a way of not tabbing in properly, so don't worry about it. Just keep them there. So make sure, the important thing is you have to make sure that the arms are tabbed onto the thighs. And then this backpack assembly, you can see there are notches there, which are going to peg onto these pegs. So you know, do it one at a time. Go ahead and tab the arms first. Okay, and then you want to go ahead and tab this backpack. Okay, tab it there, and the wheel guard's going to go up. Okay, now that you've done that, then it's easy to tab the fenders back in. And make sure that the wheel is properly folded down to the maximum level. That way, nothing's going to scrape when you roll her. Onto this rear end, you want to fold this peg out. You know, go ahead and tab that back into the shoulders. The wheels, you can notice, are a little bit at an angle. That's one of the reasons that the vehicle doesn't roll as smoothly, because the wheels are at an angle, and I don't know how to straighten that out because they're pegged in onto the backpack flap. So, and lastly, the backpack is going to attach at the back, and this thing, once you tab it all the way in, it is an absolute pain to remove. This thing is not riveted in, this hinge right here. It's so easy to snap that off, and that backpack could be stuck there real tight. So my suggestion is you just peg it in just a little bit way into the rim. Just rim that peg into that hole just a little bit. You just want to let it hover. You want it hovering just halfway through that rim hole, that hole in the rim, so that it's easy to remove it. Because if you put it all the way in, stick it all the way in the hole. It is an absolute nightmare to remove. So, and like I said, you know, this backpack isn't really necessary. The vehicle mode looks great even without it, but for aesthetic accuracy, I completely understand why Hasbro had to do that. And then lastly, the gun or the weapon. You peg it here onto the side. That. Make sure the handle is folded upwards. And there you go. There is Elita in her Cybertronian alt mode. She kind of rolls smoothly on a semi-rough surface. If it's a very smooth surface, like a marble or granite or anything that has not a lot of texture, the wheels I don't think are going to roll this well. But it rolls okay despite being at an angle. And you can see that the head and other parts clear the floor. If you do it properly, it'll roll smooth enough. And for some comparisons, here she is with my go-to alt mode comparison. We have Legacy Select's Hound. And she's not as small as I thought she would be. So pretty good scale. I like it. And then, of course, we have B127 Badassatron Bumblebee. For being such a small figure, Bumblebee comes out as a bigger vehicle. It's a good scale. Not bad. I was afraid she would be way too small, as with most female Transformers figures, but she's actually turned out great. And so some final thoughts on the Studio Series Transformers 1 Elita-1. I really enjoyed this figure. I think it's a very, very strong effort on the part of Hasbro to give us a very accurate Elita-1. I did have some issues with that backpack, the torso not tabbing in, and the two right feet. Plastic quality is acceptable. Overall, I really had fun. She's well articulated, lots of posing options for this figure. Scale is okay, given the fact that all the Transformers 1 figures we've gotten are in the small-ish scale. I think this figure is a very solid 9 out of 10. I think it's a very, very good Elita-1 figure. If you're looking for one that transforms, and not just the model kit from Blockies or YOLO Park, I think this is a very, very solid figure to pick up. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think of this Transformers Studio Series from the movie Transformers 1 Deluxe Class Elita-1. By the way, see how much nicer it is if the knees are pointed forward instead of pointing outward when you do the superhero pose on your figures. But just a little small tip for posing figures. Hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my latest video reviews. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.